So this is how it works, Ryan, right? You just stand there, you say nothing at all. The spotlight's on you, you say nothing, and you guys, you just fire away with your questions.
Okay.
Hey, hello. PRODUCTHUNT is well known for the very strong community behind it. You often post product requests on Twitter, and for example, at one point I've spent till 5 a.m. building a Twitter out of Office reply tool.
You built that?
I built that, yeah.
That's a great idea.
What do you think is the key behind such a strong community?
So I think part of it is there's outside of PRODUCTHUNT. If you take PRODUCTHUNT and myself and our team out of the equation, there's obviously like a huge interest in technology in general and an enthusiasm in building projects and startups and companies. And you see a lot of things on PRODUCTHUNT which are startups, and you see things like what you built, which I'm assuming is not your full-time startup, but a cool project to solve a particular need. And now today in technology, it's easier and easier to build things, which is enabling people to create things overnight, really, at hackathons or on nights and weekends. And so if you take PRODUCTHUNT out of it, there's just already this enthusiasm around creating. And PRODUCTHUNT is just kind of bringing all those people together, all those makers, all those enthusiasts who like to discover and play with new things. It's really a movement that I think we'll see continue in the future as technology becomes more and more a part of our lives. I should be using that right now, by the way. I'm like not looking at Twitter at all, so I need to let people know I'm not on my computer like I normally am.
Just really fan of your app, and I'm curious. I know you started it with friends, just having fun sharing technology. What's your future idea of it? Like, where do you want to grow it to? Do you have a vision for?
Yeah, so this is it's almost a nice segue into what I was just speaking about. Technology is increasingly becoming a part of our lives. We need a place on the internet to surface great products that are created, whether it's a new startup or some really cool project. And for PRODUCTHUNT, there's two different directions. One, we started off as a place to discover, here's what's new and cool today. And you go there, and it's like the metaphor I like to use is like Christmas. You go there and you look at all these cool new free things. Most of them are free, cool projects, cool products that you can either try, download, or buy. And that's fitting like a really nice niche within the tech community. The other direction that we're moving more towards, which was somewhat mentioned in product requests, is helping people also find the best product for their need or the best product for their particular problem. And we recently released something called Ask PRODUCTHUNT, which helps people ask questions like, is there an out-of-office reply for Twitter app or product out there? And then the community, which is what we're based on, like everything is based on a foundation of the community and the people that love technology, recommend those products. So that's very nascent. It's really early. There's a lot of features and things missing from that product, but you'll see more and more of that over time, where you can go to PRODUCTHUNT to become essentially your product search engine over time based on community built from makers and the user base.
So the products that I see, there are a lot of cool products there, for example, bots and this and that and all. But at the same time, what I saw that Snoop Dogg released his album on PRODUCTHUNT, which kind of looked to me that it was out of place, that since he's a big celebrity, he can release it anywhere. So what is the curation process behind it? What's the thought? Mm-hmm. So I would like to know that. And where does it stop? Who can and can't release stuff there?
Yeah, we've had a lot of internal discussions around like what is a product because it's not something there's no pure definition of what a product is. For example, is a Twitter bot that creates an emoji image of your profile picture, which exists, by the way, is that a product? Is like an album a product that fits within the PRODUCTHUNT community? Short answer is our goal is to enable the community to help figure that out. Of course, we can't have certain things like a conference, for example. The Next Web Conference we don't have a place for the Next Web Conference to be a post on PRODUCTHUNT. We also don't have a place for articles and things like that. So there are some lines, but it's very subjective in like how you define a product. At the end of the day, if something is posted and no one upvotes it, it essentially gets buried anyway. So it's just our goal to build a platform and a system that enables that community to determine that answer.
So you built a really, really great community, and I saw you tweeting a lot about building a community first before building a product, which enables non-technical founders to actually build a nice company. But I think like building the community itself can be really hard, and what's like the right moment to throw new features and products at this community? Do you have any ideas on that? How did you approach that?
With PRODUCTHUNT, I've always been into technology since I was a little kid. I was building websites, hacking my Xbox, which, by the way, a modded Xbox was like the best media center for its time, and also very cheap. So I've always been playing with technology. PRODUCTHUNT started because I just love sharing new technology, new products. And prior to PRODUCTHUNT, I was also doing a lot of writing. I would look and play with apps. Like one of my favorites back in the day was Mindy. Anybody remember Mindy? We got a few people. Mindy was basically like Vine meets music videos. It's very similar to what Musical.ly is today, which is taking off within certain demographics. And so products like Mindy I would play with, and I would explore and be like, why is this so compelling? Why do I love playing with this product? So I would write about those things. And I had a blog. I was publishing on various publications, The Next Web, Fast Company, Pando at the time. And I just did that out of pure interest. I was not expecting anything out of it. I didn't have a vision or an idea of PRODUCTHUNT at the time. But by doing that for a couple years prior to PRODUCTHUNT, built somewhat of an audience, or at least some reputation that, okay, this person likes technology. Hopefully some people respected my opinion, so that when I did launch PRODUCTHUNT, people are like, oh, this thing that I've known Ryan, I've been reading his stuff, I'm going to check this out. And so it was very many ways like the seed of the audience was built before PRODUCTHUNT 2 years prior. And for those that want to build a product, I think obviously it depends on, there's no right answer to build a company or a product, I would say. However, I think one opportunity is really to create that audience ahead of time. So if you're, let's say you're really into health and fitness, and you don't know necessarily what you're going to build today, you don't have an idea for a startup, one opportunity, one goal could be to provide value to that community, to people who are really into health and fitness. It could be meetups, it could be blogging, it could be a podcast, it could be a number of different things, but something that's more scalable than just you meeting a bunch of people one-on-one, because that's not a very scalable tactic. By doing that for several months or years, you'll start building a reputation, you'll start building connections, you'll also start understanding exactly what that demographic, what that audience wants and needs, so that when you do build that product, you have an audience built in, you also know exactly what to build for them. And so that's something to consider, especially those that are maybe at startups or a company now that has ambitions to start a company in the future. Start planting those seeds today, because that will pay off down the road. So,
well, we are a startup company ourselves, and we find it hard to find the right talent, especially with a tech background like yourself. It's, if you have to explain certain things to people, you know that they're not the right fit. So how do you get these right fit persons to your company?
And when you say right fit, you mean the team members, the people that work with you? Some of it actually goes back to the previous answer. If you can build an audience and a reputation, I wrote a post recently referencing Casey Neistat, who I think most people probably are familiar with him. He's built a massive audience, particularly on YouTube, but just a massive audience on the internet. And he's not an engineer, he's not a technical person from my understanding at all. And yet he provides so much value because he has an audience to reach out to. When he launches something like Beam, when he first launched, it's that initial spike, that initial user base that he is able to acquire and then continue to engage with over time. So I would say that part of it is building your unique value. What can you provide outside of engineering if you're not a technical leader? The reality is every company or product needs not only engineering. If you only have engineering skill purely, then you're not going to build anything meaningful. You need product skills, you need design skills, you need marketing skills. Arguably, you need marketing skills more today than ever, as you have more products in the world created. And so just finding what is your specific value add is, I think, what I would recommend. And now when it comes to finding those people, start just meeting awesome people today. You might not start something for 5 years, but if you meet awesome engineers, designers, whatever it may be, start trying to meet them and build relationships with them now, because the other thing is the metaphor of a marriage is relevant and accurate when it comes to building a team. You're going to be with them, probably hang out with them more than your family and your friends.
Ryan, I have two questions. The first one, so from the maker perspective, the PRODUCTHUNT post means one-time PR coverage, and once you've gone from the main page, if you're lucky to be there, but once you've gone, you have zero traffic for PRODUCTHUNT, well, almost zero. So are you going to make it like a constant discovery instead of one-time discovery? That's the first question. Second one is what's AngelList merger means personally to you? Are you going to do something new in like 1 year perspective, or are you there for 5-10 years? What's your plan?
Yeah. So the first question, Yes, we actually had a team meeting yesterday. I flew in, quickly rushed to my hotel. I was 10 minutes late as my team was waiting, and we talked about what we're building, and part of it is exactly what you're touching on. Today, Product Hunt is a great place to see, here's what's new and cool today, and makers that launch from Product Hunt get this nice spike, get a bunch of feedback, but then oftentimes it's somewhat ephemeral. It gets lost. You know, it's in the search database, it's in collections, it is discoverable, but Product Hunt, we've not yet focused on creating a database of products and a place to discover the best product for a particular need. So you'll start seeing some things that we're working on very shortly, actually, around creating a permanent evergreen destination for your product, a place where you can keep it up to date as a maker. You can also get discovered through other means. People that are searching for the thing that you built, we will help with that. And so you'll start seeing more products, more of our direction heading that way. The other piece about AngelList is, AngelList we acquired back in December 1st. And I've known Naval now for a while. He's actually a seed investor in Product Hunt, invested in our Series A. And so it wasn't like we just met and said, hey, let's do this, but it was a long-term relationship prior to that. And the fit between us is very organic and natural in the sense that AngelList is focused historically on helping companies raise money and helping companies hire talent, kind of your question earlier. And we're primarily focused on helping companies and makers get users. So those are the three pillars, you could say, that are most important to any company. And together we can help with that even more. You'll start seeing some integrations and some cool things that we're doing together directly with AngelList, but I won't spill the beans yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, hands together for Ryan Hoover. Thank you so much.
Thank you.